Okay, so here we are in the last month of the wet season on the planet Vertumna. And last time I was able to unlock pets, which is super fun. I've got to tell Cal about it. Cal is holding an ice pack. Oh, why do you keep getting into fights, Cal? This month, I think I need to take the time off. Yep, that's the only option. Your mother's white astrantia flowers are flourishing in the garden, and they're everywhere too. They're really taken to something in the soil here. You can even see them outside the walls. Something must be carrying the seeds out towards the wilderness. I don't want to forget either of those. And now it's glow season. I guess I'll look around to see if I can find any crystals. But last time, oh, no, I found a blue bobber fruit instead. Yep, the door's closed. Wait, I can still select the door? Yeah. And now... Oh, there is a crystal cluster. I knew it would be good to check over here. Cal, are you okay? This is our first glow season without socks. Cal looks troubled as you enter the gardens. Do you hear that? He asks, cocking his head to the side. Usually all the critters make more noise than this. I wonder what's going on. Yeah, that is a bit concerning. Well, I'm gonna go inside and see if the kids maybe will want help staying calm. But given the fact that it's glow season, I might need to assist in the med bay. Anemone comes in with a training injury, a gouge that runs from her knee to her ankle. She hobbles in with a big smile. This one's gonna be kicked, she crows as you help her to the med bay. Well, I'm glad you're happy. The medbays are miraculous technology. Combined with genetic modifications made to your body, they can cure diseases and make your cells regenerate quickly, repairing even the most mangled limbs. If it's still attached to your body, the medbay can heal it. For Anemone, though, her genetic mutation means that instead of regenerating smooth new skin, she gets rough blue scales instead, much stronger than human skin. Anemone flicks the dials on the control panel and fiddles with the angle of the lamp overhead. Seriously, this thing is more comfortable than my bed. It's worth more than the whole ship too, Instant snaps, so don't break it. Anemone pulls her hands in with an awkward giggle. You connect the med bed with your holopalm and see the interface diagnosis here. It's a confusing mess of readouts and buttons. User manuals is ridiculously obtuse. You ask Instance for help, but she just scoffs. I don't have time or the temperament to walk you through it. I learned how to use it myself, so can you. Just don't break it. It's really very intuitive. If you have half a brain for it, you can figure out the machine with zero problems. The sun lamp turns on, the monitor says, "Please lie still for 2 hours." Anemone groans, "This is going to take forever." She complains, "Stay with me for a while?" You end up staying the whole time, keeping Anemone company. Okay. Gets 3+, oh wow. And I got 43. Yep. You're just putting your boots on to go grab dinner when in the lounge when you hear the colony sirens begin to wail. It's the yearly attack. Ugh. They couldn't have waited until you ate dinner? Rude. Outside your window, you watch the colony of defense begin to mobilize. Your holobone chimes with the usual reminder for all civilian colonists to stay indoors. Governor Loom is so confident in the colony's defense these days, there aren't even a designated emergency shelters, so your room's the safest place to be. You post up in bed and scroll through Congruence's media library, intending to wait out the tacky. You wait a long time. The sounds of the fighting don't cease for hours, long past dinner time and well into the evening. Even then, it's past the usual changing of the guard. From your window, you can see blast rifle fire atop the walls, and a steady pew pew of the laser turrets, bright flashes fighting back in the gloom of glow. You want to stay up, but eventually it gets so late that you force yourself to sleep. After a fretful rest, you wake up with the realization that the colony is still under attack. At the perpetual twilight of glow, it's hard to tell the time. Your growling stomach knows it's well past breakfast, and you missed dinner last night. While you decide what to do, your holopalm chimes with the priority video announcement. Governor Loom appears on your holopalm, looking surprisingly well-groomed. "Good morning, Vertumna," he says with a calm smile. "As you may know, the colony is still engaged in battle against the aliens' threat. The walls are holding strong, and our soldiers keep mowing those Xenos down, but there's no sign of stopping yet. All non-combat personnel are to continue to shelter in place while our brave soldiers defend the colony. Non-essential work is suspended. Meals and other supplies will be brought door to door." He clenches his fist. "Stay strong, Vertumna. We'll weather the siege together." As he signs off, the colony's social media lights up with conversation. Mars and Nomi are excited to skip work and watch holovids. Tangent is frustrated she can't go to the lab and concerned for her experiments. Cal's worried about the fields. Only Base and Anemone are silent, probably because they're still out fighting. In the permanent dusk of glow, the day seems to drag on forever. Again, you have to force yourself to sleep with the sound of gunfire drifting through your windows. When you wake up the next morning, you realize you can't stomach another day of being cooped in your room. Your anxiety has congealed into boredom. Anemone and Base are either fighting or sleeping, and you haven't heard from Deece in days. You bet your other friends would appreciate a visit, though. I'm gonna make sure Cal is okay. Cal and his family are sheltering together in their quarters. He peers out the window. "I can't believe it's still going on. What's gotten into them all?" "They're probably upset that their home is being destroyed by us." He sighs and rubs his face in frustration. "This wouldn't be happening if we just tried to understand them." "Exactly, that's what I said." "I know there's a way we could live in harmony with the planet. I know it. I've seen it." Eventually, you manage to coax him into playing a holo game to pass the time, but he doesn't really feel like talking. 4 more days pass. You and your friends remain trapped indoors, forced to listen to the constant sound of laser fire and rattling turrets from around the colony. The Xenos never manage to breach the walls, but they just keep coming. Exhausted guards cycle on and off the walls and shift, dead-eyed and listless. You catch a glimpse of Anemone mechanically shoveling soy porridge into her mouth before seeming to fall asleep sitting up. Finally, after the 6th day of the siege, you hear a curious sound. Silence. You run out into the colony square to see soldiers returning from their posts. It's over. Your holopalm lights up with the priority announcement from Governor Loom. "The alien attackers have been defeated," he says. "The siege has ended." Loom smiles broadly and puffs out his chest. "Another year, another win. You're welcome, Vertumna. You're welcome, humanity." "You're welcome," you hear and see Chief Rhett nearby looking livid. "What did he do?" he rants to his security officers. "Race out there like an idiot with his honor guard, defend strategically unsound positions, put himself in danger so we have to save his overstuffed." His soldiers all shift uncomfortably, but no one disagrees. "And when I actually needed help," Rhett continues, taking his 12-hour beauty rest while the rest of us slog through endless shifts. The soldiers are exhausted from the siege, so the crowd in the square disperses quickly. Only a few helos remain, covertly filming Rhett while he continues to rail against Loom. Oh boy. On the horizon, the first rays of quiet streak the sky with lavender. You watch Utopia's reclamation crew head out to the gates and begin vaporizing Xeno corpses for their component molecules. That night you have terrible dreams. You imagine that you're sieging the colony, that you're a creature crawling in the mud on your belly, the ozone crackle of blast rifle fire arching overhead. With your taloned claws, you rip into the walls like they're made of clay, stuffing choking handfuls of it into your mouth. In a moment of lunacy, you try to pull the clay from your throat, but no matter how hard you pull, it just never ends. You jolt awake when you realize you've been pulling your own guts out from your throat. Just a dream. You're shaking and coated with a film of terror sweat, your heart pounding. You don't sleep again before dawn break. Wow. And now I'm 18. Okay. Oh, mushwood. That's always useful. And Nomi has something to say. Nomi is in their usual spot in the lounge, surrounded by their steadily growing collection of body pillows and stuffed animals. They're curled up with their arms around a giant plushy creature and seems to be scrolling listlessly through the movies available on the Colony Media Archive. You okay? No, Nomi pouts. I've been betrayed. I finished all of the Maid Stalker areas and it ended on a cliffhanger. They tip over onto their side, clutching their plushie to their chest in anguish. I didn't know the stratosphere had left Earth before this series finished airing, Nomi whines. You have every episode except for the two-parter season finale. They bury their face against the plushie. Now I'll never know how it ends, they snivel. It's not fair that we'll never have any new shows to watch. Sounds rough, buddy. We can make a new ending? Nomi wipes their eyes and looks up at hopefully. Really? They ask. You'd do that for me? Tell me about the series. Nomi launches into a full summary of the Maid Stalker's Aries, including everything down from the blood types and astrological signs of the characters. It's a lot to handle, but for you two to come up with a pretty good fan script for the missing episode. And then Aries and Sagittarius embrace just as the light from the interstellar portal engulfs them, and the camera pans back to the ghostly image of Gemini's face smiling down at them from the spirit realm. Nomi claps their hands excitedly. It's perfect, they exclaim. So much better than just leaving it, right? Before the climactic battle with the Agents of Stars. They smooth down the fur on their plushie with a thoughtful look. Thanks, Solana, they say. I was really so bummed about the cliffhanger because it just reminds me that even though everything ends, sometimes it's a lot earlier than you can handle. When I got here, I remember looking at your huge media library and thinking, wow, Galactic, I'm never going to run out of things to watch. It felt like the whole world was still ahead of me, ready to be discovered. Nomi digs her fingers into the plushie. Now it feels like everything's just on fire all the time, and everyone is always on my case about how I need to grow up. What's so bad about being innocent? Why does everything have to be so grim all the time? There'll be more good things. Nomi nods, their chin wobbling as they try to keep it together. Yeah, they say, tipping their head to the ceiling and trying to put on a brave smile. That's a good way of looking at it, Solana. Well, I'm glad I could make you feel better. Now let's go see how Cal's doing. Cal waves at you from the garden, then rises to his feet. It's almost comforting to see that, despite everything, he's still the same old Cal who likes to play in the mud. Hey, Solana, he calls out to you. What's going on? Nothing. Just checking on you, seeing how you're doing. And now, I think I'd like to go back to tutoring the kids. Nomi doesn't really need help with their humanities courses, but they ask for it anyway. When you look confused, they just laugh and tell you it's easier to read when you got a buddy. There's no one else who wanted your help this month, so they just shrug and enjoy a few sessions of reading old comic books with Nomi. And 40. And I got 3 stars. Nice. You roll out of bed at noon because you're allowed to, because it's your birthday, but also because You're exhausted. You barely slept at all last night. You've been having these nightmares since the siege, more and more every night, like they're trying to tell you something urgent. You can't make any sense of it. All the imagery is jumbled together, all the possibilities and timelines and things that might happen. Some nights you wake up in a cold sweat and scream already caught in your throat. You sit on the edge of your bed and run a hand through your hair and check your hollow palm. A few people wished you a happy birthday, but that's all. You guess you're getting older. Birthdays aren't as important as they used to be. Right. Mars wants to meet you for lunch in the lounge today. You'll have to practice your smile. As you enter the lounge, surprise! You do your very best to play along and act surprised. Woo! Streamers, balloons, great! All your friends are standing around wearing goofy hats and clapping. Naomi is holding a bunch of balloons larger than they are, and Rex is wearing a cute little waiter's outfit with a bow tie. You accept their hugs and birthday wishes, trying to hide your exhaustion and demurring with a few pointed, "Oh, this for me? You really shouldn't have. No, really?" Rex wanders around with a tray full of little snacks, offering them to everyone with a Bambi accent and a silly airhead giggle. The goofball chips away at the natural awkwardness of a surprise party. That is, the first 5 minutes after everyone shouts surprise, and soon everyone is laughing and enjoying themselves. Despite your exhaustion, you start to smile too. Your friends are so amazing, and they're all here because they care about you. Then you get some unexpected guests. The lounge begins to fill with Helio kids, mostly ones you don't know, the ones who usually keep to themselves, and, well, don't much like you original Stratospirit kids. Faith and Anemone are with them, his arm draped over her shoulders, and Anemone gives you a little wave of acknowledgement for your birthday, which earns a weird look from Vase. "Hey, who invited you guys?" Cal says, stepping forward with his hands clenched. "This is a private party?" "It's a public lounge," Vase replies. "We can sit wherever we want." Cal stomps right into the midst of the Helios. "You guys think that just because you fell out of the sky, you're the wormhole's gift to Vertumna," he spits out. "We don't need you. We never needed you. All you do is make things worse, like this party." You rarely ever see Cal so ready to fight. He doesn't seem to care that the body language of the Helios kids has changed from cocky to dangerous. "You're just a bunch of fascists," Cal continues. "You and Loom." The lounge erupts and chairs screeching across the floor as the Helios jumps to their feet, yelling at Cal, calling the colony illegal and Cal a fugitive. They jostle him around, but Cal plants his feet and stands his ground. You hear the bottle breaking and see someone advancing on Cal. He's not backing down. "Cal, please don't get hurt." Your voice is drowned out by the argument, then someone throws a punch and it's all chaos from there. Despite Cal's bravado and brawny physique, he's no fighter. One of the Helios kids socks him in the stomach and he goes down like a felted gnarl tree. Rex throws himself between Cal and his assailants, catching a few kicks on Cal's behalf before the Helios get tired and leave, with a few parting shots at Cal's alleged romantic interactions with the float Cal's "What?" Vase doesn't get involved, but he doesn't stop them either. He's the last to leave the lounge, staring hard at Rex before smirking and turning away. Rex helps Cal to his feet. "First time, huh?" he says, dusting off Cal's clothes. "Don't worry, they probably got it out of their system. Good on ya for sticking up for yourself." Anemone lingers at a distance, clearly angry at Cal, but feeling bad about the fight. "Well," Mars exclaims, clapping her hands, "that was enough excitement, I think. Let's move on to the important part. Cake and presents." Under Mars's skillful party hosting hand, the mood shifts back to festive. You enjoy your presents and your cake, but the tensions boiling over like that is a bad omen for the rest of the year. Oh boy. I guess we'll see what the rest of the year has for ahead of us next time.